logical. Please tell me that doesn't mean logical. If you insult me, you insult all of Bohemia. Madai! I will have the army come and shoot all of your stupid balloons out of the sky. All of them. Oh, he is quite the kid. Oh, and he still pays him. At least he's still paying him for balloons. Here you are, Your Highness. If only all international incidents were so easily resolved, right? Now that peaceful relations have been restored here in the courtroom, perhaps we could return to the testimony. Alright, time to cross-examine some new witnesses. Welcome back, everyone. It's late here. Last time, we got introduced to a new group of witnesses. And one of them was Gina. So, let's hope this time her being on the stand will actually do us some good. Alright, let's get into it. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point above the stage. Okay, let's see. The view from 60 feet up. Alright. It was an incident terrible. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. There's this huge bang from the stage, and then the next second another bang in the sky beside us. And from amidst the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. The cage, it fell from the sky like a stone, and crashed into the crystal tower. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. No one went near it? Huh. A most extraordinary collective account, I must say. Can I just clarify something? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically, that there were 2 explosions. More precisely, 2 explosions in 2 separate places, yes. Oh? When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying the 2 witnesses was around here. There were other balloons in the air nearby at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. Then, as power was supplied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. The so-called birdcage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage, and a moment later, the second explosion occurred directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. Wait, so hold on. Power supply to the machine, first explosion occurred. And, okay. The birdcage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down into the crystal tower. I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes. Before my eyes with a person inside. The blast was so hot, but I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide. Aww. Oh, not again. How many do you need, bud? I still have lots of money. Oh gosh. It's like he knows what everyone is thinking at that moment. Precisely, who is this curious infant? I'm told he is a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Of course. Apparently he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the great exhibition. Ja, I am here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school. We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony. Do we really need that? When I remove my mask, this is what I look like. Ah, yes, I see. A delightful face, I'm sure. Ja, everybody says so. Great disguise, then. Point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiates the facts for the court. Namely, that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the crystal tower where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused, who was Mr. Assman on the stage, could possibly have committed the murder. Yes, thank you, counsel. The prosecution's views on the matter are quite clear. So, the defense's cross-examination now, please? Yes, my lord. That's curious. Well, we know from the thing that they didn't have to approach. They shot him down. I'm confused. I need the whole picture. It's still not connecting for me. Alright. There were 3 balloons flying above the experimentation stage at the time, I understand. See. All 3 of them, my bellissimi bambini. They are very popular, senor. Some people will pay £10 for one ride. £10? That's more than my annual stipend. £20 a month. That is my pocket money. I always have all the luck. I got up there for free, I did. Played the old I work for Her Majesty's police card, you know? Detectives have all the luck. If they're so popular, why would you only be operating such a small number of balloons, though? Because, if I have too many in the skies, they could crash into each other. The operators for the balloons were decided by lots, with each operator manning a particular area. See, and the zone above public experimentation stage is the most profitable. The other impresarios, they hate me. Thank you, witness. I think the court has a clear picture of the arrangements for balloon rides at the exhibition. Perhaps we could hear more about what you actually witnessed of the incident. Right, I can fill you in there, my lord. So you actually saw the accident happen from up in the air? Yep. Isn't it amazing what a detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling you, Aldo. Being a lawyer's a mug's game. You should join the force so we can go flying together. You know me so well. Yes, well, anyway. Could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think? Everything. We saw everything, because we were up above it all. That dodgy calf climbing into that cage, and that dodgy professor pulling all them levers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was that massive bang, and the cage disappeared, just like that. You were describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe. I didn't know what to make of it, but then there was another bang, right in my ear. I looked round, and there was a huge, great fireball right next to us in the sky. And there was nothing there before. Oh?
Excuse me.
Master Gods, does your memory of the day differ? Main teacher at elementary school said that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name. Yes. What was it again? Wilhelm Gostrich Sigismund Armenstein. Just the 4 names then? Point is, do you have something to say? Something to add in response to Detective Gina Lestrade's last remark, perhaps? Oi, get it right, Otto! It's Inspector Lestrade. Why does everyone have a problem with how I addressed them at the moment? They just want you to be polite, is all. That is not what I saw. Oh? Yeah, there was a second explosion, and it was right beside our balloons, that is true. But I'm sure... Which is what I said, innit? 1 minute there was nothing there, the next a massive explosion. My teacher at elementary school said that when someone else is speaking, if you are rude enough to interrupt, you will have the most alpha life imaginable. Are all Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy? Wait, what's with the bandage? Are they hurt? Is he hurt? Just because the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky. A green balloon? Eh? You what? I never saw nothing like that. Well, I did. I saw it, and you can't say I didn't. I will complain to the council. I will cry and scream. My testimony is the truth. I am Bohemian Prince. Help! You cannot say it's a lie. That is not allowed. Tis claim the blatant royalty card, are ya? Typical. Says the orphan who likes to remind people she works for Her Majesty's police. Oh, jeez. In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony. In the interest of cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia. Nazis sky that is split. It was a green village that was next to ours at the time. Guess I'll ask him for more details first. Oh! Could it be this? A green balloon, you say? Are you sure about that? Of course I am sure. I am proud Bohemian prince. All these questions are making me boring. I think you mean bored. Ah, English is very annoying. The language of my countrymen is far superior. Okay, so it is a very long lie. Lie? Flying balloons never explode. For the same reason the planets never explode. It is logical. Please tell me that doesn't mean logical. If you insult me, you insult all of Bohemia. Madai! I will have the army come and shoot all of your stupid balloons out of the sky. All of them. Oh, he is quite the kid. Oh, and he still pays him. At least he's still paying him for balloons. Here you are, Your Highness. If only all international incidents were so easily resolved, right? Now that peaceful relations have been restored here in the courtroom, perhaps we could return to the testimony. Did you also see the moment that the cage materialized, Mr. Loon? No, I did not see the explosion myself. However, I'm thinking about whether or not to present what we found here. Why not? I got enough penalty points, I can risk one. Yeah, okay. Okay. For real, your objection, counsel. Oh man, the defense would have to accept the penalty given. Glad to hear it, and you would also have to think again. Okay. Alright. Oops. Did you see that actually happen? No. In reality, I did not. I saw after it hit the tower. There was a grand confusion around the stage. I ran to see what had happened. I was terrorized by the idea that one of my balloons had crashed. I suppose they are his livelihood. But when I looked up to the sky, all my precious balloons were still there. I saw it though. I saw it slam into the tower. After all, I am a detective now. We get it, Gina. Trust me, we get it. Then tell us what you saw, Inspector Lestrade. That's what I like to hear. Oh. Was it you who gave the order to keep people away? Use your head, Otto. How could it have been me? I was up in a balloon, weren't I? Right. Because I weren't available, it was the boss who had to leg it over there. He was getting shoved and kicked all over by the panicking spectators as he tried to seal off the scene. Poor Gregson. It was a real sight to behold, I can tell ya. Amazing. Poor Inspector Gregson. Oh, the poor guy. So anyway, I couldn't see the cage that well because of all the smoke. I didn't really want to see, to be honest. I was scared out of my wits. Keep it together, Inspector. The prosecution really is asserting that the demonstration was genuine. What if it was actually some kind of switch around trick instead? That would mean that the victim was never actually on the stage in the first place. 2 explosions would have thrown everyone watching into a panic for sure. I think I need to find out more about what exactly people saw at the time. Okay. there was only these 2 balloons. Ugh, come on. Okay. Would you care to mull over precisely what you find odd about it on your return journey to Japan? Whoa! I wouldn't be back to get the correct answer for about 4 months though. Rest assured we should be happy to carry proceedings forward in your absence. You sound serious. I have to prove my worth before you really just send me back home. Oh man. Alright. Hold on, let me save because I don't want more penalty. Like, I don't want to lose more than what I have. Oh! Oh, it just clicked for me. Okay. His statement. My balloons were not damaged. But we found this at the scene. And based on what the Bohemian Prince said, I forget his name. Anyway, he said that a green balloon exploded and we found this near the exhibition stage. So, take that. Yeah. Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all 3 of the balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. See, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosionness, it would have been terrible. I wonder if you might know what this is. Ah, I think it may be... See, part of a balloon. A burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope. Sorry, the envelope? Powder. That is the large round part of the balloon which becomes filled with hot air. It is made from very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want it to rip when you are in the sky. Just as I thought. This piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Master Gotts testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. Eh? If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts the evidence. Yeah! No! Did that balloon in his hand just pop? If the balloon exploded that day, why didn't the man say so? Maybe everyone on board was killed. Oh no! Having just spent 10 whole pounds for the experience? How awful! Seems to me like those things crash 50% of the time anyway. The instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage, the point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon. Causing the balloon to explode? Yes, eminently plausible. An unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts. No. Hold it! This I cannot accept. Why not, Mr. Loon? You are suggesting that I am a liar. That persons died in a balloon incidente. There's no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. Haha. Oh gosh. The victim was the sole fatality that day. That's right, and I prove it. Well, Balthazar Loon is not a liar. There was no such balloon in the sky. It is non possible. You're saying it's impossible? Why? This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day. Aye! But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord? The defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon. Yeah. I concur. There is clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It's imperative that we clear up the issue of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witnesses, you will give supplementary testimony about the balloons you were operating at the exhibition. Ah. Grazie, my lord. Alright. Here we go again. The circus continues. As I said, Balthazar Loon is no liar. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an explosion, what a catastrophe. But I can't get away from the fact that a burnt up bit of cloth was found at the scene, can ya? The coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. The stupid ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. So your assertion is that the balloon that this child saw was not one belonging to you? Si, exactamente. if he even saw a balloon in the first place. I do not like the sound of it. It is very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia. No! If he attack us, we will fight back. It will be war. All out war. Not again. Ay, ay, ay. Ah, jeez. What happened to all-out war? Oh, jeez. Mr. Loon certainly doesn't appear to be lying. That doesn't change the fact that the testimony and evidence are contradictory here. If the defense is unable to find fault with the witnesses' statements, the court must consider them the truth. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes. Counsel, you may now cross-examine the witnesses. Alright. I don't think anything stuck out to me right away. No liar. Balloon ahead, sky landed safely. You couldn't just have forgotten one, maybe? Senor. I might not notice if I was given 100 lentils and one was missing. But we are talking about 3 enormous balloons. Do you believe I can make a mistake about something so grand and expensive? I took the liberty of having Inspector Gregson check this gentleman's warehouse. I have the report here. It clearly says a total of 3 balloons. It would appear no mistake has been made, then. Surely Miss Lestrade could have been sent for such a menial task. What, me? I'll tell you what I told the boss. East End kids like me can only count up to 2. Obviously, that ain't true. But the boss bought it and said he'd have to go himself in that case. Gina. What kind of apprentice are you? Wait, 3 were carrying passengers? It would be quite a catastrophe if they fell to the ground for any reason, I think. On that note, Mr. Loon, tell me, what is it that keeps these balloons in the sky? Are you an idiota? Sorry. That is like asking, why does a candle burn bright? It burns bright because it burns bright. And the balloon flies because it flies. What else? That must be Italian for I don't know. There are 2 types of flying balloons, hot air balloons and gas balloons. Hot air balloons work on the principle of hot air being less dense than cold air, whereas gas balloons derive their lift by using a gas that is lighter than air. See, and my balloons are filled with the magic gas, I believe. Hydrogen. Lighter than air, but highly explosive. Good lord! I do not permit smoking of the cigarettes in any of my balloons. The magic gas does not like fire. Even a small spark of static electricity could cause the entire balloon to explode. What is the matter with you, senor? All that comes out of your mouth is explosion, explosion! I tell you, my balloons are perfectly safe. They have to be, or I cannot eat. None of my balloons exploded that day. I am completely sure. But if you still say that is what happened, you must show me proof. Alright, so Mr. Loon had 3 balloons in the air that day. If none of them were damaged, then what was the one that exploded? I was surprised to find a piece of fabric still at the scene, actually. Didn't you search the area surrounding the stage for clues? Ah, I'm not into picking stuff up off the ground, me. Always works out way better. Dive into people's pockets instead. So much for the new career path. Mind you, the boss was on his hands and knees picking up all kinds of rubbish from the floor. Thing is, though, the cage went crashing into the crystal tower, didn't it? So that's where most of the investigation was going on. Even so, I would have thought someone from Scotland Yard would have gathered it up as evidence. Oh, listen to you. You stumble across a bit of balloon and suddenly you're the best investigator in the world. Pardon? Well, you ain't got a badge, have ya? Like this one. I could arrest you with this if I wanted to. I wouldn't put it past her. Come to think of it. There was talk of some scorching on the ground at a meeting we had about the investigation. There was considerable damage to the stage and surrounding area, wasn't there? Yeah. Some of the clothes what were watching the experiment were caught in the blast and injured. Good job the old contraption didn't keel over, eh? I hadn't even considered that. It seems there was great panic after the incident occurred. Nevertheless, the police shouldn't have missed a torn piece of the envelope from a balloon. Inspector Gregson can expect repercussions. No! Like me swiping all his fish and chips, eh? The man's sole pleasure. None of this matters. That scrap of balloon envelope means nothing. Nient. You mean the color is wrong? Si, senor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse. And yet, a piece of green cloth was found at the scene, and it's unmistakably from a balloon. Well, I do not know how that could be. For the sake of argument, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't therefore conclude that it happened on the day in question. Why not? There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operating from before the Great Exhibition. One could have exploded on some earlier date. Unfortunate, as I'm sure you'd agree. You believe it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition? Si, exactamente, as the senor says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly this little ragazzo from Bohemia is mistaken about what he saw. This is actually so cute. Alright. Is something wrong, Master Gotts? It's Master Wilhelm Gostritz Sixmund Armenstein! No, it wasn't. It was on the tip of my tongue. Ja, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear it. I swear all over Bohemia. You can speak as much bad language as you like, but it changes nothing. Not again. If you do not have evidence, Ragazzo, then I must tell your parents to punish you, eh? Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments. Evidence? What is this evidence? To give a simple example, young man. A photograph, for instance. Some tangible proof of what you claim. Well, why didn't you say sooner? I have the photograph here. Good gracious. What? I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. Oh my gosh, look how big that thing is. I took lots and lots of photographs. Of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian exhibit, of the streets of London, of the hot eel cellar, the balloon. And the instantaneous kinesis experiment? Did you take a picture of that? Ja, one picture. Really? You did take one? But all I wanted was a ride in a balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments. Never mind that. Can you show us that photograph? Of course. And then you will see. You will see that I am not lying. That I really did see a green balloon. What in the... Well, I see you're all too shocked to speak. Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man. Ja, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but that is not my fault. That is the fault of the stupid person who made the camera. Wow. That is one very Bohemian sounding cry. Very well, the court will accept this photograph as evidence. Oh my gosh. No, don't cry. It's not my fault. It's the fault of the person who made the camera. Can I just see this? Hold on. Yeah, he's crying. Hold on. What the heck is this? Why is that the experiment? Oh, is that him supposedly beaming over? Trying to see. You can't really... tell. Is that him in there? It doesn't look like it's him in there. Or am I crazy? Yeah, that's obviously Hairbrain over here. Okay. Well, never mind. I'm sure you have plenty of wonderful sepia memories to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph? Wait, you said all of them had passengers. There's no one in here. Well, it was on the day of the big explosion. You don't say. When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang, and a hot wind rushed over my face. That means this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred. Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changes nothing. I could not get the flying fig. Lovely language you've picked up. As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just doesn't quite add up. A young bohemian boy claims to have seen another, fourth balloon, but Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility, and it's hard to imagine the man in charge could be mistaken about the number that were in the air. Still, this inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure. All three. Well, this one didn't have a passenger, clearly. Unfortunately, the photograph Master Gotts took can't tell us the color of the balloon, but it can tell us something else, something crucially important. What? It shows that the pictured balloon wasn't carrying any passengers. Ah, my goodness, you're right. But surely all the balloons would have been carrying passengers. There'd be no sense in it otherwise. See, that they are for pleasure, for seeing the view. My balloons only fly with passengers. Okay, this guy is really suspicious. What's going on with you? Which tells us that the pictured balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in disguise above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon. Yeah! I know nothing. Nient. I can only tell you one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine. There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly, one such entrepreneur decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition, and managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Loon's patch without him realizing. See! The competition trying to steal my profits. I did not notice, because of the experimento that went wrong on the stage. This fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment Mr. Assman was beamed from the stage below. Right. So them scraps that fell to the ground after, and left them scorch marks. They didn't come from the stage at all. It was bits of the balloon rained down. But because no one was in it, it didn't get no attention. A mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers, silently floating over the experimentation stage. This photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one and operated by some rogue trader. Clearly it has nothing to do with the case. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Its relevance does elude me, I must say. The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. No! What's wrong with you? Oh. They don't seem like they agree. Really? Have we really got the truth yet? No. I can't let this opportunity slip away. Jurors' minds are made up, and not in our favor. What else can this photograph tell us, if there's nothing more we can learn from it? Is there nothing more we can learn from it? There's more. Of course, but I don't know what, but there's more. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give your decisions yet. The photograph from Master Gotts may well be hiding one more vital clue. What's that? A vital clue? We're well past the point of mere possibilities. It's time for definitives now, so tell the court. What exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph prove? Cause of the explosion? The balloon's owner. Let me look at it one more time. We're not gonna be able to tell the owner because cause of the explosion, maybe? Because you took it right before it happened. Because there is something going on here. And he hadn't beamed over yet, right? Let's see. Let's try the cause of the explosion. Yes, okay. We can reasonably assume that the pictured balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion. Ja! That's right, Ja! It was not my fault. Evidently. Because the birdcage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. And the balloon, being filled with flammable hydrogen, instantly and explosively ignited. No, that's not what happened. What? It would appear that this photograph requires closer examination. Counsel for the defense, you will highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photograph for the court. Okay. Figured I just took a quick second to save. Of course, my lord. If you look closely, it's plain enough to see. And what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have. In a way that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. Clue that reveals the real reason it exploded is... I don't know whether to do this or this. Guessing this? Whatever, let's try this. Oh boy. Yeah, okay, good. The timing of this photograph can only be described as miraculous. If you look, you notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon. Most likely a ray of light caught incidentally on the film. I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sort. If you look with a magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear what the nature of this bright line really is. Goodness, what is that? Undeniably some flash of light, yes? Oh golly, do you think it might be lightning? But it couldn't have been a finer day. I believe we may be looking at fire. A bolt of fire heading straight for the balloon, like an arrow. Indeed, even to my aging eyes, it would appear to be a flame of some sort. My word, are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon? Objection. That's absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could possibly have reached such a height. Objection. Actually, it's my opinion that a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how that is exactly what did happen. What evidence? Man, poor Gregson is gonna... he's gonna get after the trial. 2 pieces of evidence. 2 big pieces of evidence, and he didn't find them. He overlooked them. Such evidence exists, counsel, then for goodness sake, present it, man. Which evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame that appears to be headed directly for the balloon? Dun dun dun. This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene. Good lord, is that a crossbow? An arrow dipped in oil and set alight could have been shot from this weapon, sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon. Are you suggesting that crossbow was used to deliberately... Blimey, you're right. That streak of light in the photo looks just like an arrow, doesn't it? Then, the explosion of the balloon, it was... very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow igniting the hydrogen gas inside it. No! Haha. Order! Order! Counsel, this is an extraordinary supposition. If the aim was to cause the balloon to explode, the shooter could have used a gun, of course. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of the question. The noise of the discharge? Of course. That's right. By using a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon silently. Oh yeah, if someone had shot had gone off in the exhibition grounds, it would have caused a real panic. But with the big explosion there was a very big panic anyway, no? I don't like this. I should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all this, but something feels wrong. Do you understand the implications of what you're saying, my Nipponese friend? If a flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensued... What? Wait a minute! What are you really saying there? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed up into the sky after all? Or what? My goodness me! I think it was being transported in the balloon. Ah, now I understand. That's what that sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along. What? Did I just hear that correctly, Council? There's no going back now. The horse has bolted. Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. On stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage and instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage then appeared, to fall down and crash into the crystal tower. I think you'll all agree it's entirely plausible that what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. Good grief! That's... oh my gosh. I was thinking something like that. This is ludicrous. What you've described is no science experiment. It's child's play. A contemptible display of stage magic. Both Mr. Sholmes and Iris said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility, in which case this is the only way to explain what happened that day. And in any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the crystal tower. If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that? If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can easily be explained by some simple deception. Deterrent number 3. All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looked very similar to the victim, Mr. Assman, and having this other man appear on stage to front the show as a body double. I knew it! It was the waxwork that was stolen. I knew it! Yes, of course, so in fact, Mr. Assman must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start. That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside it would have been scattered to the four winds when it exploded. No one would have ever have embarked in such a risky venture. Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would very much depend upon the mixture ratio. Juror number 4. I love how they're all interfering to help. Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of other gases such as helium as well. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered. The mixture ratio? Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns. That would be unavoidable. But not to such an extent as to render this whole obscene charade impossible. So everything that happened can be explained, logically and scientifically. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception, to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred. Well, goodness me! And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Assman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. Nug. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the defendant who was on stage in full view the entire time. Dog! Woohoo! Awesome. This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter. Lord Van Zieks can't credibly maintain that Professor Harebrain is a suspect now. Oh, hold it. Who's holding it? Don't tell me. Harebrain! Why? Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Professor? But you can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please. Sorry? What's all this about, Mr. Harebrain? What in the world? I, Albert Harebrain, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Audi Asman. What? Yes, it was me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver. What? What are you doing? What? Is he being blackmailed? Or did he really stage the whole thing and he doesn't want it discovered? He staged it all, didn't he? He had help, whoever wrote the ransom note. And he doesn't want it revealed? And maybe Asman found out and the person he was working with that stole the waxwork killed Asman? Oh my gosh, I don't know! Order! 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 Defendant, explain the sudden confession. Professor Harebrain, what are you talking about? It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis and my precious machine. You stand there and claim it was all a trick, all an elaborate prank, but where's your proof? No, you have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it, but then it would all be over. Or is he just trying to protect the machine and he had no idea that the whole thing was staged? That could also be it. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, the indignity of it. Dude, some things are bigger than your freaking hypothesis. It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. If you'll just let me, I can prove— Baroque! Yes? I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear it. So please, ensure the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to and protect my creation. Dude. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice at this critical juncture. Dude, shut up. Here's to my learned Nipponese friend. What? And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in the light of the accused's confession. Oh. Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because the moment you do, Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. The prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. Oh, however, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved. Oh my gosh. Well, counsel, what is the defense's official position on this matter? What Professor Harebrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. But there's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence, or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned? Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind? Dude. Mr. Naruhodo! There's no escape here. I have to make a choice, but it's an impossible one. I have to give up something, but what? Defense asserts that the defendant's instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact... We have to go with this. I'm sorry, but nothing's more important than his life. I know he asked us to protect the hypothesis, but... I'm sorry, Hairbrain. Your life's more important than your machine. Ugh! No, I can't say it. My client placed his faith in me. I can't just let him down. What must I give up on? Is not the question you have to ask yourself here. It's what can I protect? Susato? What? What? Where did she come from? Hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long. Susato-san! Yay! Her objection theme. Oh, we missed you. Ah. But what are you? Hi-ya! No. My first Susato takedown in 6 months. There'll be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand. Which is working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect. Professor Hairbrain. Yes? Yesterday you told me that science is the pursuit of truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too. Yes, of course. And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Assman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? That your experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we must both pursue now. Ah! Dude, why? So, you finally opened your eyes. What? And as for you, Albert, can't ignore this any longer. Ooh. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say? Barack! Lord Van Zeeks. Gosh, I've never heard him speak that way before. Wow, who knew he had it in him? In truth, there is one thing, something I've remembered that's of relevance. What? On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow. I beg your pardon? What? Professor, did the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like? Taller than me, and thinner than me, but straight hair, straighter, and wider than mine. Let me see. One less lens than me too. A monocle. A rather stylish black monocle. But one thing in particular will help to positively identify the man, you see. I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention. What? He built the machine? That's right. Mr. Assman introduced him to me a year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. Enoch? Drebber? Does this name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. Not a name any scientist wishes to hear. The man's an abomination. Not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either. Who on earth is he? I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turn out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research, grant money. When magicians are in need of money, I have heard of them resorting to these underhanded tactics. Some acquaintances of mine with experience of such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before. The man is both an engineer and a magician. Yes, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Drebber for you. What the... So it's true then. My invention, my great machine, it was just a grand delusion. Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely. Even though no one else believed it, I wanted to. I wanted to believe that machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted. Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume. I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen. But at the same time, I knew that if it was found to be nothing more than a trick, than a work of deception, then everything I'd worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. Aw, harebrain. Oh, poor guy. I was terrified at the prospect. So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built, and the true nature of Mr. Drebber. I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it. It's entirely possible that Mr. Aspen and Mr. Drebber were working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money. Yep. And then something went wrong and he was killed. Yep. That sounds about right. When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Drebber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore. Oh, poor harebrain. My goodness. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? No. Yes, please, go ahead. I'm very sorry. Oh. It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord Van Zieks. My lord. Court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Yes, Mr. Drebber. Gather information about the man. If possible, I should like him served with a subpoena. Ugh. With pleasure, my lord. Now, counsel for the defense. Yes, my lord. When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing, and one thing alone from you. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. I understand. Good. In that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. Aww. I'm so happy we have Cesaro back! Ah! Alright, we're gonna have to end things here. Ah! I don't want to push forward so bad, but we'll have to continue next time. I knew it! I knew it was all a trick and that it was set up beforehand. And what Sholmes and Iris said just confirmed it for me. Oh boy, poor harebrain. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys are having an amazing day and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.